likely to be inattentive to their children. And that terrified, that part more than anything terrified me. 5, I was with one time who fell asleep while driving and almost ran into a garage. And the problem was that was not an exception. So tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong with the pot smokers. Because other people I knew that have maybe prescription drug problems, or they smoke too many cigarettes, or, which is kind of weird, but, or they drink every night. Now, drinking I do not give an excuse to, because I've been through some terrible experiences drinking, and I know people who put their children in danger every fucking day by drinking and driving with them. What is it I'm getting wrong about pot, RD? I'm trying to figure this out. I don't want to hate pot. I want to love pot, but I don't do pot, and I'm just going off what I've seen. So what is it the wrong kind of pot? It seems to develop a lifestyle. That's all I'm saying. It's been my experience with the people close to me that did it. I don't know. I haven't known a lot of people addicted to like prescription drugs, so I can't, like, they may be terrible, evil, and I just can't judge them because I haven't seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of alcoholics, and alcoholics are incredibly highly predictable to me, but not too, like, overall not dangerous, except when they get kids in automobiles. Then they get dangerous. I know one right now who drives probably once a week with his daughter in a truck, and he's drunk. And it's a matter of time before he kills her, and there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do. I would never drive, at least at this age, with my maturity and intelligence. There's no way I would drive in the condition I'm in right now. And I'm pretty much like a little bit better than I was earlier, like coming off of it, but I know better. Because of the slow reactions. You cannot have slow reactions on the road, man. You just can't do it. You can't do it. I don't care how fucking Superman you think you are. It's the one thing. It's the one thing that you needed a half a second to comprehend, but you're only given a quarter second. That's the one. That's the one that gets everybody. Let's see what you guys are saying in chat. RD says, at school, at home, anywhere. I smoked weed 24/7. Okay, tell me what's good about weed and what's bad about weed, RD. I want to know. I will trust you what you say. RD says, the first time I beat my dad at chess was the worst day of my life. At that time, I'm sure he felt old. God damn it, Andrew. I beat my dad at chess. He let me win. I know he let me win. I wasn't beating him from, academic power. He let me win when I was about 16. No, it wasn't even that old. It was about, let me think. So that was Briarfield in Hampton, Virginia. So I was about 13, and he let me win. And I remember thinking I was the king of the world. But I know he let me win. And because around that same time, he let me win a poker hand with him and his friends, and I won $14. And I said, no, that's it, I'm done. That's the second shooting star I've seen tonight. I said, nope, taking my $14. I mean, I'm 13 years old. I'm taking my $14. Fuck that. I'm not gambling that shit away. I don't know how to play poker. I just had a good hand. I had like 3 threes. He's like, no, you got to give the guys a chance to win their money back. So I gave him one hand, and we kind of gnawed out, and I left. I said, nope, I got my money. That's the way I think, man. I understand the odds. But what was the other thing we were talking about? Andrew said, because not being in control. First time I beat my dad. Oh, beating your dad at chess. Yeah, he never let me know for sure that I beat him. But I know that he let me beat him, because he could have whooped my ass. My dad and I'll tell you, before he died, this is why lately I've been thinking about playing flying games again. I've been watching a lot of World War II documentaries. I love flying, kind of dogfights and stuff. It's not like I'm super duper into it, like I'd recognize every plane. But my dad and I, before he died, played a game called Aces High. It's still out there. And he would always want to fly the Spitfire, the English plane, which is a great plane. I would always want to play the Zero, because I like turn fighting, just getting in fur balls. And one time I was in Aces High. They have 3 countries. It's called the Knights, the Bishops, and the Rooks. and I flew over. We were both going to change over to the Rooks, I think, and he was still on the Knights or something. So I come over. My name's Ogun, the African god of war and iron, and his name is Suda, which is an old, basically an Asian superstar. And I see him taking off on the runway, and I'm like, do I shoot my dad? I shot him the fuck up. He's like, good kill, Ogun. I was like, you damn right it was. You should have known better than to take off right then. Anyway, I want to get back into that, and there's a part of me that knows it's out of respect for my dad, because he did fly in real life. He flew the small, like a Piper Cubs and stuff, and I've been skydiving before, so we have, and in the Air Force, so we have a connection in the air, and he was good. He was a good fighter pilot in that game. I was ranked 84th in the world when I quit playing that game after a year, and he was ranked, I think 101st or something like that. But he was like 67, so he was getting up there. Anyway, what was the point of that? I don't know. I don't think there was a point to that. I've never been drunk behind the wheel. Well, Andrew, I will confess that I have been several times, and I regret it. I wish I'd never done it. I was stupid. I thought, they'll never catch me, and they didn't. The one time I was pulled over, I was very lucky. I wasn't drunk, but I had been drinking, and I was honest with the cop. I've always been honest, man. The officer asked me, how many beers have you had tonight? I said 7. He goes, 7? I said, yes, but it was from 8 at night until 2 in the morning. I said, and, that's the truth. So he gave me the sobriety test, let me go. He let me go. So, but he arrested my fucking friend that was in the car with me for failing to appear on a divorce court hearing. So I was like, oh, goddamn, nobody's ever going to go get him. So I drive down to get him. I'm going like 51 and a 45. I get pulled again. This guy doesn't want to let me go after a field sobriety test. He wants me to take the breathalyzer. And I said, officer, I've been pulled over twice tonight. I respect what you're trying to do. I've been given field sobriety tests twice tonight. I was let go on the first one. You're not so sure about the second one. At this point, I'm going to refuse to take the breathalyzer. And he's like, that's a 1-year automatic suspension of your license. I said, I understand that, but I think I need to take a chance on this one because I've been checked twice tonight by cops from the same city. And something doesn't seem right here. It looks like, I didn't say this, but it looks like you're looking for a reason to bust me. And so they took me to jail, understandably. My buddy was in there. They put me in the cell right beside him, I think, to pick with me. And I got out of it completely. I got out of the judge, whose name was Judge Hartnell. His son had been killed by a drunken driver. And he said, you can't have 2 cops on the same force telling them different things. Case dismissed. Case lasted 5 seconds, y'all. It was done. But there was another case. It was refusal to take the breathalyzer. All right, so I went to another judge, Judge Agnew. That was a black lady. And the charge was he refused to take the breathalyzer. That was supposed to be a 1-year suspension of your license. And my attorney argued it. The judge, said, heard from the cop, heard from me, and said, okay, we're going to let it go, but you got to come back in 1 year and prove you're clean, which I did, and they let me go. So I never got any penalty for any of that. But I tell you what, it taught me a lesson. Don't even fucking think about drinking and driving, because they will be all up in your ass. And I hated that. I hated the court dealings and all that fucking police bullshit. I hated it. Yeah, hated it. And right now, I know from experience that they make you feel like a murderer. All you got to do is drink and drive. And if you get arrested, they will make you feel like a fucking thug criminal. Let me see. My day was, RD says, I'd say the best thing about weed is that it gives you the opportunity to escape from reality. I like that idea. And that the worst thing about weed is that it gives you the opportunity to escape reality. I hear you. Okay. Well, the thing about RD, who loves McKenna, I believe Terrence McKenna, I appreciate anything that can make you think outside the box. Anything. I don't care if it's mushrooms or anything. I've never tried mushrooms. But if you can think outside of the typical confining boxes of reality, step outside, my friend, as long as you have a person around you that can keep you safe. Like, don't go too crazy, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that, RD. I really do. Z12 says, my day was underground, Army, Poland. He would not let me win. I beat him. Worst day of my life when I look back. Why is that, Andrew? Let's talk about that. You beat your dad at chess, and you beat him fair and square from what it sounds like you're saying. And you regret that. How old were you? How old was he? And why do you regret it? I'd say weed does help you think outside the box. I might have to try some more weed, especially if it becomes legal around. It's, as you may know, RD, in pockets of the United States, it's legal now. All I know is the people I've known that were daily weed smokers, and they weren't very good people, RD. Not here with me in the United States. Not very good people. Not trustworthy people. One of the persons that I knew that smoked weed daily, I was in the shower. I was staying at her house, and there was no soap. So I got out to ask if there was any soap. She was arms deep in my medicine bag. At that time, I was prescribed by the VA morphine, pretty much the strongest drug you can take. I don't take it now, for my back pain. And she was arms deep in my bottle of morphine. And I thought, how many things can I see that are common with the weed smoker before I start making judgments? I don't want to make these judgments. This is what I'm seeing. So, I don't know. It's like getting beat up by 5 black guys, and then you see the 6th black guy and you get a little scared, you know? I think it was a fair reaction, but maybe it's the kind of weed. Maybe it's the frequency and the intensity of the weed, or the how much weed you smoke. I don't know. Andrew says, 14 because he was way better man than I will ever be. Well, I appreciate that you respect your father like that, Andrew. I really do. My dad turned into an alcoholic, and he wasn't before. I mean, he was when I was a kid. Long story short, okay, so I got 4 sisters. My dad and mom are married. They were married 17 years. They divorced. I'm 3 years old. Dad goes his way. He comes back. He wants to be involved with the kids and all. It wasn't all dramatic. It was like, yeah, okay, you can take the kids to movies and stuff. Here and there. Not very. I wasn't close to my dad. Remember, I was only 3 when they split. And he turned into a major alcoholic. But he wasn't like a making news alcoholic. He was a low-key alcoholic. So I don't know if he was a better man than me. He was in the Marine Corps, 7 years. I was in the Air Force 4 years. He paid about $2,000 child support. I've paid $32,000 child support. Remember, he was paying for 5 kids. I was paying for 1. Was he a better man than me? I don't know. I've never thought about it. Maybe he's better. Maybe he's worse. I don't know. But obviously, you feel like he was a better man than you. Why is that? What did you do wrong or he do right to make you think he's a better man than you? Because you might be surprised, Andrew, if you add up the tallies of the scores, you may be a better man than him. So what is it? What is it that's holding you down below him? Besides the picture that I have on my profile of, obviously, titties that are eggs. God, I feel like I'm using my psych degree for a fucking change. Talk to me, guys. Tell me what your problems are. Maybe I can help. I have official training, unlike some people on Spreaker that try to give psych advice and have no official training. Wi-Fi dropped. I heard nothing. Oh, shit. Okay. I don't feel like that, to be honest. Andrew, can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now, and I want to repeat the question because I think it's worth it. I think this could be very revealing to you and me and our entire audience later. Honorable guy, served in his country's military forces, and I don't hold that against you at all, RD. I don't know if you served in your military or not. Doesn't matter to me, man. You're an honorable guy. I trust you. I've heard everything you have to say about the stuff we've talked about. You don't need to tell me if you've served in your military. It doesn't matter. But I do respect Andrew a little bit. Like, take the average guy. All right, I love the average guy. The below average guy, I'll still give him a